Today our message is taken from Parashat Tavo, and Mauricio Quintero brought us the message for today, and this is the translation. He entitled it, Preparing for a Life Together Forever. He says, I remember when I was single. There was no school that prepared us to live a married life. The marriage that Evelyn, my wife, and I have built together has been the result of trial and error, success and failure, not a typical fairy tale that we watch in movies. We had to learn to communicate and are continuing to learn even after 19 years of marriage. For a marriage to endure, there must be clear communication both ways, both directions. There must be rules established on what is allowed, on how to act and behave, and we must be clear with each other in order to have a transparent relationship. To love another person, it's necessary to deal with ourselves. Because if I don't love or can't even stand myself, how can I open my heart to receive another person into my life? As I stood back a bit to see this parasha from a distance, as our Rabbi taught us on many topics, I noticed that during this month of Elul, prior to Yom Teruah, or Rosh Hashanah, and Shmini Atzeret, or the added day Simchat Torah, it's similar to a man who wants to build a new home for his bride to dwell with him. Our portion says at the beginning of Devarim 26, V'haya ki tavo el haaretz asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha nachala v'rishta v'yishtava ba. When you have entered the land that the Lord your God is giving you, He's giving it to you as an inheritance, and you have taken possession of it and are dwelling in it. When I read these words, the image that came to me was our Borei Olam making a promise, as a boyfriend gives to a girlfriend who represents Israel, to give her a place, Eretz Israel, to have a relationship, but a relationship that shines, that brings light. How much can we learn from the relationship that God wants with His people for us to apply to our homes today? Well, let's look at this portion. First, a relationship must be based upon gratitude. In Devarim 26:3, we read, Today I declare to the Lord your God and express my gratitude to Him, because I've entered the land that the Lord swore to our fathers that He would give to us. If in a relationship, whatever it is, we take everything for granted because we think we deserve it or show indifference, it won't last long. Psalm 50 verse 23 says, He who offers a sacrifice of thanksgiving honors me. To him who follows my way, I will show the salvation of God. Tehillim 107:1 says, Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His loving kindness endures forever. Let us give thanks for the good and for the apparent bad. I heard a Talmudic study this week, a Shear, where Rabbi Isaac Luria said that blessings are when the Eternal clearly manifests Himself by day, and curses are when He, blessed be He, hides His face from us. It is the concealment of a blessing. So even what is apparently bad for us is also good. In our home, we currently have the water inlet to the house covered, and I cannot repair it because there are laws that prohibit me from doing this. So I've been waiting 23 days for the water service company to come and repair it. Incredible. But in this apparently bad situation, I have seen the hand of the Eternal, because we've had no lack of water for us to drink, to bathe, to cook, to wash our clothes and our dishes. I've come to realize the blessing of having a family close by who have the aptitude of supplying water to our home. Second, we must remember our past to see how, by God's mercy, we are where we are today. This allows us to keep our feet planted firmly on the ground, away from our being proud and having fantasies about who we are, since we are what we are and who we are due to the favor of the Eternal. This parasha has us remember out loud that an Aramean wanted to make our father perish, reminding us of our time in Egypt and how God heard our voice and saw our affliction, our fatigue, and our oppression, and how he took us out and brought us to his chosen land for us in Devarim 26, verses 26 to 8. In this case, remembering is positive because it allows us to reach the conclusion, as Rav Shaul said, I am what I am by the grace of the Eternal. In our congregation, I have been surprised by so many fascinating stories of how some come from dysfunctional homes, others from hollow beliefs, nonsense, others from depression, others from distant lands, and have come to prosper thanks to the Eternal. And by listening to everyone, truly everyone is in their current position thanks to only Him, thanks to His kindness, thanks to His favor. It's very nice to read the land that the Eternal chose for you in chapter 26:9, and continuing in the relationship of a couple who are about to get married. Will a boyfriend not look for the best for his girlfriend, something she likes, a place where she will be safe? Our Creator does the same for us. Third, love is not selfish. It gives. It returns, not for barter, for trade, but for love. In this sense, he is speaking to us about the tithe, about returning from what God has already given to us. It's the same in our homes. Gratitude must be made concrete by our actions. Saying, I love you, but I don't speak. I don't clean the floor. I don't wash the dishes. I don't take out the garbage. I don't keep order. I don't take care of the others. Is that love? Today, many marriages have been dissolved because they were utilitarian, to satisfy a need, an unhealthy, in many cases, need for affection. But they did not survive because selfishness blinds people. And they began to see the shortcomings of the other rather than their potential and what they could give to the other. In this portion we give, and the Eternal also gives to us. That is true relationship. He honors us before other peoples, as Devarim 26:18-19 tells us. And the Lord has solemnly promised you today that you will be His chosen people, as He has promised. V'Adonai emircha hayom lechiyot lo le'am segula kasher diber lach. He will raise you above every other nation in praise, fame, and honor. You will be a holy people, kadosh to the Lord your God, as He has promised. Isn't that enough to give thanks for God? We are chosen by the Eternal. Fourth, a relationship needs commitment from both parties. We read in Devarim 27:1, keep all the commandments that I command you this day. The commitment is manifested by making all these words of the Torah their own. Mitzvot, chukim, mishpatim. These make up the 10 Commandments. For this reason, Devarim 27:2-3 tells us that we must erect for you, right for you. Fifth, a relationship needs to rejoice together. Can you be with a person who looks like a zombie, expressionless? When was the last time you laughed with someone? Devarim 27:7 commands us to offer peace offerings and eat there and rejoice before the Lord your God. Sixth, a relationship needs clear rules and understanding and knowing the consequence of disobeying these rules, which we read from chapters 27 11 to 28:69 in Devarim, in the so-called Tochecha, the curses or warnings. What caught my attention was that among the blessings was the one for Shimon, to whom his father said, "Cursed be your anger," Genesis 49:7. We see the love of God here, allowing him to make tikkun, restoration, expressing blessings. In some synagogues, they read these curses in a low voice. However, I loved something that I heard from Rabbi Abraham Ashkenazi saying, "Say them out loud, because by hearing them, you will not practice them, and they will become a blessing." Seventh, a stable relationship. We need intimacy. We need to enter the other's heart. Our portion closes by saying that after 40 years in the desert, Israel had a problem. In Devarim 29:3 it says, "But until now the Lord has not yet given you a heart that understands, or eyes that see, or ears that hear." My wife doesn't need to tell me out loud to know that I've screwed up on something. I just need to look at her eyes to know if I did something wrong. An understanding heart knows the intentions of the other person. For example, I don't need to be a psychologist or a psychology graduate to know that when she tells me, "I don't feel like cooking tonight," what she's really saying is, "I want to go out with you and talk." And to understand her tones of voice to know that something is wrong or something is right. How is our relationship with God? I never cease to be amazed at our Haftarah portion in Isaiah that invites us to be different. Isaiah 60 verse 1 says, "Arise and shine, for your light is come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you." A relationship requires work. It needs to mature. It needs to build memories, even those that are painful, to get close to one another, to experience joy, to laugh. It needs action. Let's arise as Yeshua invites us, because our light, our bridegroom, our God has arrived. He is here. Are you ready to live a life together with our Creator? Shabbat Shalom.